What's up, guys? Dusty Shaw Fitness here to share some of the trending gossip going on within the fitness industry. And it's one of the first topics I've seen that's also crossed over into the prison content YouTube channel. So I'm going to go over several prominent names, both within the fitness and prison. People that have reformed themselves, and this all falls under the umbrella of self-development and self-improvement. But there's many people that are really missing the point there, because I'm seeing, unfortunately, it's really disheartening, but I got into this fitness industry as a really early teen in the late 90s, and I think of guys like Mike Matarazzo, Craig Titus, Dorian Yates, just the toughest, most, cut from the cloth, just like myself and many others that are in the prison industry. And I want to touch on both of them because I think one of the things that a few of these guys who I like and respect in the prison content YouTube is they don't know a few of these guys I'm going to mention in the fitness industry like I do, and others in the fitness industry. So I just want to clarify a few things for them, because these dudes are really solid, and I know the only reason they're using their content, besides the obvious growth for their channel, and I'm with them, do whatever it takes to grow your channel, but I do just want to make a few things clear, because I've been in the fitness industry. I've been coaching clients for well over 10 years full time, and I've been a professional athlete, a professional MMA fighter, and I've coached many top clients, both in bodybuilding, MMA fighting, and just all around holistic health. People, the average Joe's wanting to get in shape. So I've been in this industry a long time, worked for major nutrition companies and store franchises where we have a lot of demos with top pro bodybuilders. I've met most of the big names, just like I've met most of the big names in the professional fighting, UFC vets and stuff. But the main two things I want to go over is the two biggest things is the Wes Watson gym encounter, where this gentleman online decided to see that he could get some clout from this, walks into Wes's gym while he's minding his own business, and sets his camera down before he goes over and confronts him, showing his clear intent was to start shit for clout. And he didn't just say something to Wes, he pushed him. It's all on camera. I'm not going to share the whole clip on here. If I do edit some clips in, I got to make sure that I can. But at the very least, I'll put the links to the description in the video description so that you can see for yourself. But it's all over the internet. But Wes, regardless of whatever involvement one or two of his friends had in it, the reality of it is Wes stood his ground like a man and gave this dude exactly what he deserved. An ass weapon and a reality check. All right. Wes, there's plenty of things to joke on Wes about. All right. I was a firm believer and follower of his content. His early content was great, which I think most people agree with. That's why he shot up and rose to fame. This man has never missed a video 3 times a week. He's never missed a wake-up time. He's always up at 2:30 a.m., never misses a workout. And he makes over $3 million a month after only being out of prison for less than 6 years after a 10-year stretch in CDC. Now, did he exaggerate some of his prison stories and, where he's been? Sure. Right? And one of the things people talk about, he talks about his 10-piece. And they're like, oh, no, you only did 8.5 years. Well, that would actually make perfect sense when you factor in that you do typically around 85% of your time and you also sit in county jail, usually at least a year, fighting your case before you go. So if you factor in those two things, around 8.5 years in prison would make perfect sense when you deduct the year or so county jail time waiting to go. All right, so these are people that don't know what they're talking about. And let's say even with the county jail time and the percentile of what you do, what's the difference between 8.5, 10 years? All these people online talking shit haven't done 8.5 days, 8.5 months. That's 8.5 years. All right, so they have no business talking. All right, and the person I see talking the most shit is John Bravo. What a freaking beta, just male disgrace of a human being. All right. He has made up lie after lie about Wes. And like I said, there's plenty to joke about Wes now. All right. The white, just over the top luxury clothing and the flashing of the Bugattis and the man purse. There's plenty to joke on him about. All right. And call him out on for. But this particular situation, he handled in the right. The only thing and all these people talking shit, they wouldn't have done shit. Before this, they were all talking about how he was a pussy and he wouldn't do shit if someone ran up on him. And then when he does actually handle his business, then they're talking shit about he went too far. So it's just haters, And the reality is, John Bravo, that dude couldn't squash a grape, man. Wes would crush him. There's nobody that would look at them two and not know that Wes would absolutely crush that dude. And you don't see Wes online making video after video calling John Bravo the B word and a pussy and all this stuff. Because men don't do that. Men do not get on the camera and call other men those names, all right? And then he talks about, having sexual stuff done to him in prison. John Bravo's never been to prison. He wouldn't make it, all right? I can tell you, as someone who's been, he doesn't know how to carry himself. I mean, you can just tell he's a weak man, an inferior man, and that's why he has to project onto other people that are superior to him like Wes. All right, so, man, I don't understand how anybody has not unsubscribed from John Bravo at this point, the way he's exposed himself as a clout-chasing, just keyboard warrior coward. All right, just fake as they can be. Now, Dubs and Gunners Collective, man, they're solid as they come. You don't get any more solid than Dubs. He did a 20-something year sentence on a life, 20 years something sentence on a life sentence for murder, and he's been to all the places. The crazy stories Wes talks about, shot calling and whacking and all that. Dubs really was that dude. That's verified in a fact. And having done time and been around those people, I can tell you he's exactly like the Norteños that I've come in contact with. So he's the real deal. But he is using some of John Bravo's content, and I think it's the thing is, Dubs knows the stories that are exaggerated by Wes, so he is fully within his right to joke about it because he has done it. So it's kind of a slap in the face to him and the others, that really have done it. But John Bravo's never been to prison. And have you noticed when Dubs talks about Wes, he don't say really disrespectful shit like he's the B word or the pussy and all this, because men don't act like that. So if you want to, so Dubs, he's all good, and his buddy Gunners Collective. I watch their shows. I love their content. But I just want to say to both of them, in case they happen to get in touch with this, as someone that's been in the fitness industry, this ain't the first of the bullshit that's come with John Bravo. John Bravo is always hating on, projecting, making lies up about people. That's what he builds his name off of, is trying to discredit other people. And that's the sign of an inferior man. And I know you guys know that. You just haven't seen him over the years evolve in the fitness industry like I have. One quick example is one of the best in the industry, most smartest dudes. He's very similar. Like today we have Vigorous Steve, I would say, is the top pharmacological expert in our industry, fitness industry. But the closest thing to him was Leo in longevity. And unfortunately, Leo passed And, Leo and John Bravo both are of Arab background. And so there should be some loyalty there. And they were talking in messages, and John Bravo betrayed him and went to Dave Palumbo, who's of Jewish background, and told him, shared a private conversation of what Leo said about not trusting Dave and how he felt that John Bravo shouldn't be betraying him when he's been acting like he's his friend, and they're both Arabs. And we all know if you go put something out there about anything race related like that, that's going to destroy somebody. So that's another example of how John Bravo is just a cowardly, will stoop to any level to sabotage someone else because he has nothing to build himself up on. I think he might be good at like film production and stuff like that. But as far as, in this industry, all he does is try to tear other people down. He has nothing to stand on and build himself up on. But I don't just want to continue hating on him. It's nothing personal. I'm just trying to point out to you guys, plenty of things to joke on Wes about, but John Bravo has no place to joke on Wes because Wes is, way above John Bravo in terms of being a man. All right. And that's saying something. Moving on to the next one is Jeff Nippard versus Mike Van Wick. Mike Van Wick is one of my favorite trainers. He shows some of the best techniques out of that gym. It eludes me right now in Canada, the really popular gym where Antoine Valiant trains, one of my favorite bodybuilders. Super cool guy. I recommend you check their condo. But Mike Van Wick, you can just look at him and tell he's a man. Big, jacked up, tattooed, former pro bodybuilder and pro football player. He is the who's who. All right. He has built champions. And then you get this little nerd, Jeff Nippard, who you can't even hardly tell he works out, and he's been a supposable fitness expert for over a decade, still doesn't hardly look like he works out. You cannot tell whether that dude works out or not, hardly. And yet, but he's one of those science-based experts. He's all into the science, but yet it never works for him. You ever notice all these science experts like him? And I don't want to keep, bringing names down, but we all know them. They're always in the worst shape. And then they're talking shit about guys like Mike Van Wick, who are in tremendous shape and were not only champions themselves, but have built champions. So I love science. I nerd out on it too, but hard work and experience, it's good to have a combination of both, but hard work and experience will go a much further way. But Jeff, you can see in the video, is just antagonizing Mike. And my thing is, when you're a small, inferior, just chump nerd of a person, do not go challenging a man who's superior to you and then be shocked when the person puts their hands on you after you keep provoking him and he keeps walking away. All Mike did was just put his hand on his neck and just shove him away because he wouldn't quit coming up, starting shit. And guess what Jeff Nippard does? After being the instigator of the shit, he calls the cops. Unbelievable. Why is Jeff Nippard not only kicked out of that gym, but why isn't every person in the fitness industry, why have they not all come out and completely exiled that dude for being a just total scumbag, just coward? He started it. If Mike started it and Jeff was being humble and like, man, I don't want any problems, I'm not like that, and Mike did it, then that'd be a bully. But no, Mike was being the bigger man walking away, and Jeff Nippard was the one instigating it. And he even says on camera, make sure you get this on camera. You can see it was a setup from the start. But this is just the sad, unfortunate reality of our generations today. These young beta males are just taking over. And it's just sad. It makes me sick to see how many people in this fitness industry, like Mike Israetel, supporting Jeff Nippard. I mean, how? Everything is inverted. Weakness, cowardice, narcissism is just projected and encouraged and socially, like I said, not just accepted, but encouraged. And then men who are humble and try to avoid problems and only handle business when it gets to the point where they need to handle them, those are the ones that are vilified. So I just want to touch on that. If you're a man and you see anyone supporting Jeff Nippard, supporting John Bravo over Mike Van Wick and Wes Watson, just know you're a coward. You're a weak man, and that's why you are identifying with the weak men who are, this is a large part of why this society is going to shit. It is so true that good times create weak men create hard times create hard men, and hard times create good times. And this is a cyclical thing, just like everything in life is cyclical. And we're unfortunately in that place where weak men are all the rave and they are creating hard times. So I just wanted to make this video. If you look back at my past videos, granted this is a new channel, my big channel was deleted unfortunately. So please subscribe to this channel, like and comment. Please comment, as it helps the algorithm. You know, even if you disagree with me, say it. You know, I appreciate and welcome all discourse, but I could really use your help to build my channel back up and get this information out there. I normally never talk about this stuff, but this is just so important. Don't be that guy who goes through life weak and trying to start stuff and project onto other men who are better than you and you would like to be, but you just don't have the strength or the integrity in yourself to rise to their occasion or something similar. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on those subjects. As always, guys, I've wrapped up. This is the end of my January New Year sale. So this video drops. This is the last weekend to get any of my coaching services 50% off. So my main coaching program of $200 a month, where I write up all your customized meal plans, workout plans, lifestyle supplement plans, and coach you through it through the whole month, will be marked down to just $100 for the month with no committed contract. It's the best deal. I only do it once a year. So please, my contacts are in my description. Hit me up in my email, DustyShawFitnessCoaching.com, or any of my social media contact links on there as well. As always, thank you guys for so much for watching. Stay hard.